on Fox. No huddle time. We're not huddling. Check in on Aaron Rodgers. He's going to consider his future during a 4-day darkness retreat. Telling Pat McAfee, I've got a pretty cool opportunity to do a little self-reflection and some isolation. And then after that, I feel like I'll be a lot closer to a final decision. It's just sitting in isolation, meditation, dealing with your thoughts. It stimulates DMT. I researched this, me being Kevin Wilds. So there can be some hallucinations in there, but just kind of sitting in silence, which most of us never do. I think it was a fair point, and we have leaned into it per your advice. But Brew, we will start with you. What's Rodgers' best option next season?
Well, look, hopefully while he's away at his retreat and hallucinating, he'll realize I should not have written off the Niners a week ago or whenever that was.
Fair.
That's his best option. He goes there. He's got a legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, we're back.
And look, some people
nice
like
with
Nick Wright would say, "Oh, anybody could win it with that team."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We don't ridicule Peyton Manning's second Super Bowl, right? We just say he has two.
Well,
we don't
you
care how
guys
he
do it a lot.
played or
Hold
what
on.
that season.
Wait,
and so I
you're
think
kind of ridiculing it by
Yeah.
saying that
Right
there.
now.
Or literally right now.
But look, we know he didn't play well, right, all season, but they won. And overall, we say he's got two Super Bowls. That would be great for Aaron Rodgers. John Elway wasn't the main guy when he won those two, but he's got two. And so I think that's number one. Number two, Miami. Miami, yes. You could go to Miami and be a real threat. And then number three, I'd say New Orleans, because they got a great defense, and you stay in the NFC, or Green Bay, stay in the NFC where there's not the great teams right now. And the Raiders, the Jets, it'd be nice, it'd be fun, it'd be entertaining, but you obviously have no chance of getting to the Super Bowl with either of those teams.
All of that is exciting and sounds really good, but for me, it's the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best option. You got a young wide receiving core you got a guy in Watson who's emerging. You're starting to develop some chemistry. You got a running game that supports who you are at this stage in your career. You have a system that you have thrived in and had some success in. You have all these things that are set up for you to succeed. You're in a division that is winnable. You're in a conference that we all believe is winnable. All those things are important if you're truly trying to win a championship. Now, if it's about something else, then okay, go and do what you do. But if it's about championships and continuing to add to your legacy, Green Bay is the spot. I just don't know if that happens.
Guys,
Kind of missing the story.
guys, hold on a second. Am I hallucinating?
Not yet.
Did
Perhaps,
Aaron
though.
Rodgers
Science.
just tell us he's just going to go spend 4 days
To go back
and nights in pitch blackness
Yes.
to stimulate and I am not a prude when it comes to trying to open your mind to things, but to try to stimulate his already pretty extreme drugs he took last year. Is that what he just told us
Yes.
is happening?
Well, told McAfee.
Okay, told McAfee, my apologies.
Yeah.
If you're running a team, and if you acquire him,
Yeah.
you have to write him a check for $59 million. Does this not give you a little bit of pause that he might be, straying the path a bit for the guy we want to lead our franchise?
Well, whatever floats your boat. If you want to go
There
and
you go, Wild. Whatever floats your
whatever
boat,
it takes.
man.
I'm not going to judge whatever anyone does to get themselves in a better headspace if that's what he wants to do. Now, if you wanted to say, it's a little bit like Nick's Peloton. It's not just the exercising, it's the telling you about it all the time. That kind of grates on people. Oh, sorry, everybody, late to the meeting. Was on my Peloton. I'm like, okay. Like,
How are you laughing? You post videos all day.
It's personal, but I want you to know about it too, Greg.
I'm not talking about it.
Oh, no.
I don't walk in here talking
no,
about
you
it.
You bring a full
He's
suitcase
just showing
full of
off his
nutritional
muscles.
elements that we
I
can.
gotta eat.
But hold on. Can I say something seriously here? Would you not be concerned, at least a little bit, if you are evaluating, let's say, between Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, even though Aaron appears to be on the downslope a bit, we still think he is better than Derek Carr. Would you not, Brew, have any of the math be, but Derek Carr seems specifically focused on football, locked in, and the same guy he's always been. While Aaron, God love him, seems, and I hate to use this terminology, but just gets stranger and stranger as time goes on, and we are committing to him for at least, if we're trading for him, you would hope the next 2 years. Like, doesn't that concern you?
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't want to commit to him for 2 years. And Carr, in addition to all you said, he's younger and he's cheaper. And Rodgers wasn't winning Super Bowls when he was at his best. So now that he's, out there a little bit, is he going to win Super Bowls? I think not.
He's going to back with the Packers. There's zero chance you come out of a 4-day retreat and be like, guess what? I decided to retire.
Okay.
He's not retiring, but he might.
Can I say this really quick? Let's stop acting like Derek Carr is better than Aaron Rodgers.
I didn't say that.
I'm just
He
saying,
might be better
He's
than
not.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's not.
The trip
But
on
he's more
ayahuasca.
stable.
Well,
He might
Derek
be more
Carr
stable.
visiting the Saints. You've got to take your shot. You can't play scared. You see when teams play that way, he carves you up. So I'll take my shot, and if he makes a play, well, he gets paid too. Super Bowl champion Greg Jennings is here. Greg, what was your response to Brandon Graham's
it's spot
fearless
on.
statement?
It's spot on. You can't go to a game scared or fearless or fearing the opponent. Like, there's a healthy respect, yes. Everybody understands and knows who Patrick Mahomes is and what he's capable of. However, you believe that why you are there is just as important, and you have to bring that to the table. I'll give you a really quick example. For me, in the Super Bowl,
nice.
Troy Polamalu, he's coming down. We see some things in the scheme. I'm like, all game, I'm mic'd up. I'm yelling to my coaches. We have a corner route. If we run it all game, I'm saying it. It happens in the first quarter. If we chose not to do that, I don't know if we win the game. We end up running it. I score on the second time in the Super Bowl. We end up winning that game. It was necessary. We shot our shot. What he's saying is, don't hold back. We've had the best pass rush. We've been able to get after quarterbacks. If he burns us, he burns us, but we got to be who we are.
My takeaway from that story is, if not for Greg Jennings coaching in addition to play, Aaron Rodgers
You
would be
feel me?
Mr. Zero rings. I mean, that corner route turned that game. I remember watching that play.
Greg
Left end zone. That was a big spot in that game. So listen, I do think there is a level of appropriate fear you should have for the scariest player in the league and a guy who there is no good game plan against, as we discussed yesterday. And I think that where the Eagles have to be careful is not in fearing Patrick Mahomes, but the appropriate fear for the Andy Reid game plan, Brew, because everybody knows that their entire the thrust of their defense is not just about a pass rush, but about a pass rush that can get home with 4. We saw the New York Giants beat the greatest team I've ever seen, the 07 Patriots, with that model. We then saw the New York Giants kind of have a very similar model when they beat another very good team, the New England Patriots. We have seen a front 4 be able to flip a Super Bowl. And the Eagles are, I think more talented certainly than the 07 Giants were. With that said, Brew, the reason I bring up Andy Reid is, and I said this before the AFC Championship game, we knew Mahomes would be hurt, and then we saw it play out. Andy Reid is the greatest designer of the quick game and of screen passes we've ever seen in the NFL. And if those Eagles defensive linemen get too overzealous and overeager at stopping Mahomes, it is going to be Jerick McKinnon. It is going to be Isaiah Pacheco.
Agreed.
It is going to be guys getting out with Andy, who's 21-6 with 10-plus days to prepare for games across his career, with the opportunity to use that aggressiveness against them. So I understand not going into games with fear. I also think that, some coaching philosophies are you should be afraid of everything just to be prepared for it. I'm sure they know how good Mahomes is, but that aggressive nature could be used against them in this game, Brew.
Yeah, no doubt about it. First of all, props to Greg Jennings for the
Super Bowls.
outstanding humble brag. The outstanding humble brag. That was well done because it was applicable to the story. But great job, Greg.
And it wasn't just any safety. It was Troy Polamalu. His flowing locks, and Greg cooked him up. So good.
Troy is on line 1. But anyway, this is the problem with facing Mahomes. If you are overly cautious and play it too safe, then like you said, Nick, because of what he learned last season, he'll take the checkdowns. He'll find Kelsey in the middle of the field, you know, for the short routes. Like, he will do those things and pick you apart slowly. But if you throw caution to the wind, then he'll beat you deep. He'll beat you with some spectacular plays. So you do have to be careful and find that balance between that. But that said, I think that the main way for them to hinder Mahomes enough to beat him is with what hinders all quarterbacks: pressure.
Yeah.
They have got to get a ton of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. If they don't, even though he's missing McCole Hardman, he will pick them apart. So that they've got to get the pressure on him. I don't care if you're cautious, if you're overly aggressive. If you are not consistently putting the heat on him, you're going to be in trouble.
See, I think Mahomes is going to be able to scramble this game. Here's a quote from Andy Reid. Supposedly, he can do just about everything in the game plan. I think he'll be fine today. That's Andy Reid on Mahomes.
Yeah.
Here's the stats on Mahomes in the playoffs, in the pocket and outside the pocket.
Oh, so perfect to both.
Well, that's the problem. We're like, well, you keep him in the pocket, you're in trouble. On the move,
Right.
I guess he's slightly better, so maybe you want to keep him in the pocket and not overcommit. But I think if the ankle's fine, he's also going to scramble, be a little John Elway-esque, like throw caution in the wind and get every yard he can.
Listen, there was some other scary news for the Eagles today, which is Andy also said everybody's practicing.
Yeah.
So McCole Hardman's been put on IR, so he's not even going to be listed on the injury report. He's done for the year. But Juju is practicing, Tony is practicing, Snead, the corner they lost with the concussion, is cleared protocol, and Willie Gay is practicing. So the Chiefs are the healthiest they have been all year long.